Yo, what's up? I am Ryan Little, and I am Rude. I'm from a very, very small town, North Carolina, called Mount Gilead. It's one of those one stoplight, two stoplight kind of towns. It's a very, very rural area. Your closest movie theater was like 35 minutes away. So for me to go from an area like that to an area like here in Cary, where I'm kind of flourishing now, it's a bit different. But my roots are there, and again, I'm thankful for it though. My first beat, if I'm not mistaken, uh, this was probably during high school. So this was before I graduated high school. This was probably 2008, 2009. I wrote with a group of friends. Some of them were rappers, artists at the time. Some were producers, and they had told me about this program called Fruity Loops. I had heard nothing about it, so they told me about it. They're like, "Hey, there's this program called FL Studio. You need to do this, get the quote unquote crack version. You know what I'm saying?" And I did. I followed their advice, and I got the crack version. And my first beat honestly was probably a kick and a snare and some random synth that I found in the program. It was pretty trash. I don't know the name of it. I hope it's deleted somewhere because I don't want to find it, to be honest with you. I hope no one can find it on the internet. I don't think I uploaded it on the internet at least. Those FL Studio stock sounds aren't the best, so the beat probably wasn't the best either. So we just have to go with that for right now. There's not a particular sound in North Carolina has, so I can the influence isn't as strong from like any particular, whether it's boom bap or trap or reggaeton or whatever it is. To me, at least, it doesn't have that sort of influence. So I'm kind of able to create whatever art that I want, and it's usually accepted everywhere. Like no matter what I create, no matter what sound I create, it's accepted from North Carolina. That's one of the great things about it. The second thing about North Carolina I love is that it's not too heavily populated with other artists. The competition isn't like heavy. It's more of for those who are here, it's more of a friendship. At least that's what I've experienced. So you don't have to necessarily compete with everyone. You just kind of get together and make dope vibes. However, with that being said, that's also a con because to me, if you look at a place like North Carolina, okay. And I compare North Carolina to a place like Cali, LA. Let's say LA. We won't say Cali, let's say LA. LA or to an Atlanta. With those dense populations, there's more people to work with. I found that in North Carolina that though the artists here, there's a scene here in North Carolina for music for sure. It's not as strong to me, and this is my personal opinion, not as strong to me in terms of who you can work with. You'll get your set group of people, and that'll kind of be it. It's hard to really branch out and find just extremely new talent, I guess, if that makes sense. If I was in Atlanta or LA, I'm sure I would meet an artist every day. I don't meet an artist every day here. Usually between the work I do outside of music, then coming here, I don't have that luxury per se. It has actually. It has. I have a connection in Atlanta. I mentioned him earlier, Kenan Rush. He's a dope artist. Have a connection with him there. We've worked together and stuff. And I know that he's made a lot of connections in Atlanta. Of course, with Atlanta be so again densely populated with artists, which actually might go against what I said earlier because I've heard how Atlanta is actually a pretty friendly area when it comes to music. At least I've heard that. I'm not sure 100%, but I've heard that. But I have thought about moving out. Again, more artists, a bigger scene. It seems like there's more resources out in Atlanta from what I've heard. LA, you kind of get that vibe also. And again, a lot of times I will say you are just seeing this stuff like online or from word of mouth. Unless you've actually experienced it, you can't be too sure. But I've also taken into consideration other people. I've taken into consideration family. With me being so far away, how that affect them, or something happened, to them. How can I contribute? I'm in a position where I'm not too well. I'm far away enough that no one can just reach out and grab me. But I'm also close enough to that. If something happens, or I gotta step in, and I love music. But if I have to put music to the side, maybe just for a brief second to do something, with them or for them, I'm here. So I do love the area. I don't plan on moving anytime soon, unless an offer comes up and it's like, hey, I got to sit down and discuss this with family, with friends. What do they think? I'll do that. If the move happens, then great. I'm all for it. So I'm not against it, but I do see myself being here for a little more time at least. Yeah. Bloom where you're planted actually means a lot of things to me. First, in a literal sense, wherever you are, flourish there. If you've been placed in North Carolina, or wherever the case may be, if you've been placed there, whether, you moved there or you're kind of forced into a situation, regardless of the fact, begin working there, begin doing your thing, because you just never know, even in this like quote unquote like smaller environment, you'll be surprised at the impact you can make, around you. That goes beyond music, that goes beyond art, it goes in anything, honestly. I think art's a big deal though, which is why I'm glad to be a part of such a great community. And I think on a more figurative level, use what you have and work with it. You know what I'm saying? Use the resources that you have and work with those resources, whether from a literal, physical standpoint, and what I have around me, in my mindset. Whatever I have here within me, use what I have. I don't have to be this person or that person. Whatever I have within me and wherever I am, go from there and bloom and be the best who you can be in that particular area. Because of course, when you bloom, you're gonna sprout, you're gonna spread out, and then as you grow, those flowers come, and people see those flowers, and people now want to come in, say like, oh, like what is that? Like, why is that so pretty? Why is that so intriguing to me? Not only are you gonna bloom where you're planted, but then those flowers have seeds. They're gonna drop. The garden gets bigger, and the garden continues to grow. So you put in that work, and you'll see how much you can really grow and really blossom where you are. So yeah.